Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon everyday earbuds, the perfect bass model for premium sound, with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They're ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit rayconglobal.com. That's rayconglobal.com and elevate your listening experience.
I want to give a big shout out, man, to our sponsors, Raycon. Definitely want to give a shout out to the Breakfast Box. Appreciate you guys showing all the support that you guys have. Can't thank you enough. But we got a good subject today, man. Shout out to my man D Free. Shout out to Prize. But we got a big conversation to have, and it's called "We Have a Crisis in Leadership." The reason I say that is if you look at boxing, you look at like men in general, I think we really suffering from having some of the weakest men that we've ever had on this planet. And I'm wondering, is that why we seeing such reckless behavior in boxing as well as in regular life? What would you guys say to that?
There's a possibility. You gotta understand a little bit comes from the fact that times are changing, so people is trying to adjust with the youth, and they trying to stay in sync with today's economy and today's people. So sometimes things is going to be different. Like if you look at our parents from when they were younger to when they became an adults and we became an adult, times are different. They looked at our generation as individuals that wasn't on the same playing field that they was on, and they look at our generation the same way. We was a little bit weaker than they were, and so
Right.
it's the same thing for our kids' generation. Their generation is a little bit weaker than what we would came up in. So as the generation goes on, you're going to see things change, and it's because of the time has changed. So it's just a part of life.
Yeah. What you say about I think my man Prize fell on the steps, but um the reason I say that, Free, is because I think, man, what we seeing in boxing, what we seeing in general, it's kind of disturbing. We're seeing more and more young men be passive. We're seeing more and more young men be, not being boisterous, not wanting to speak their mind or let somebody know when something's going on. And I think it's just awful. I was, driving through my old neighborhood, and I had a thought to myself: this place is better than it's ever been, but it's also worse than it's ever been. When I was growing up, there was no nice parks to go to, and they got parks now you could sit down free and watch some people play if you want to. We could play a little tennis, play a little pickleball. And I guess for me, I never thought I would see so many young people, man, just waste this opportunity and just be a part of like foolishness across the board, young and old. And I just think for me, I could say, man, I never in a million years would have thought it would have came to this, man. What did you think about everything, Free?
Yeah, I look at how my kids are going through life, and I look at the opportunities that's given to them that wasn't there when I were younger. Like I had so many more opportunities than my parents had, but it seemed like they got a lot more opportunities than what I had. Like we didn't have the internet, we didn't have cell phones when I was a kid. Cell phones came in, I was around 18, 19 years old when cell phones was actually able for us to be used on the street. I mean, we were still dealing with the whole beepers and pagers and things like that. So times was changing, but when I look at all of the assets and all of the luxuries that my kids have, I'm a little bit jealous because it's so much easier for them to make it than it was for me to make it, and it's so much easier for them to make it than my parents was to make it. So it's almost like they giving you a easy path to become a millionaire. It's just a matter of who wants to take it. I mean, like you just look at how easy it is to make money on the streets. Like you really don't have to take the street life to make money. Back when I was coming up, it was either you took the street life or you had to work a minimum wage job or struggle to try to find a job. So now is they giving you easy way, like the YouTube. We didn't have YouTube when we was younger. Kids can make money on YouTube. They literally can make. My granddaughter watched this little girl called A for Addie, and they got I think like a million
Uh-huh.
some subscribers.
The
It's
little black girl free.
no
Yeah.
little
Uh,
white girl.
I thought you were talking about the little black girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's so easy for people to make money now. So it's so many different opportunities now. As I say, a part of me is a little bit jealous of the opportunities that my kids have because they wasn't there for me.
Yeah. It's just one of them things where I guess for me, man, um, I seen a video of Bill talking, and the part that really, I guess, the part that's in the bill.
BBO went out for a second. He'll be back. Prize, did you hear the question that BBO had? There you go. He back.
Okay, my bad. No, what I was saying was I heard a video of Bill Haney talking, and the part that got me, salute to my brother Mike Grimm, salute to Dub right side. It just really got me. It's like I never realized this about Bill, man. He knows what he's doing. Um he really is like playing this crazy game, man. It's it's wild, man. I just don't understand how people follow like BS. And I guess for me, I'm just at the place now where it's like I never in a million years thought people see it like this, man. Where
I mean,
people just tell lies and don't even try to tell the truth.
yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it's all a game. It's all a game, and the name of the game is to bring in views, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's in the sport of boxing, football, baseball. It's all what you always trying to build your clientele. It's almost like a barber. When you first become a barber, you get a chair, you rent out a booth at a barber shop, and you're sitting there watching everybody make money because you don't have the clientele. And so you got to figure out how can you bring more customers to your chair so you can start bringing in that money. And so you go stand out front of the barbershop and ask, hey, you trying to get a cut or whatever. You put out flyers here and there or whatever. And so that is the same thing. It's all a game. It's all how you bring in views. Some people go a different route. They all have their own routes how they want to bring the viewership in or bring in the fan base or whatever have you. It's all part of the game. We look at it as they doing it this way, and we so used to it being done a certain way that we get mad when we see people do it outside of what we're used to seeing. But if you look at it as the fact that it's all a game, it's pretty much all to bring money to their pockets, then you can kind of understand what it is. You might still disagree on how they're doing it, but you realize this is a business. Yeah, it's a sport that we love, but it's a business. And the point of the business is to bring money into your pocket. So how can you bring money into your pocket? People find different ways of being able to bring money into their pockets through that business. They got to get the viewership up. They got to get the fan base up. So it's all part of a game. It's just how you play the game is what people are looking at.
Yeah. What you got for me, Crush? I don't know if you can hear me.
I just came in because it got a little choppy, but we talking about leadership as far as bringing money in. Well, I heard the last minute and a half of what D Free said, so I agree with D Free is saying, and but we know that everything is about money nowadays. There's no secret to that, and why be into anything if you're not going to make any money from it? And the way that life is right now, you're going to need a job, a career, and a couple of your own personal businesses. So anything that you do, you're going to want to bring people in to buy it. So no matter if you in the sports or whatever that you into, it's about you making money. So you have to be a sell pitch, but not false advertisement, because there's a lot of times we're wasting money in places that we knew a little better. People kept it upright funky from the giddy up what they had, then we'd probably be turning around and going another direction. But when you like how we spoke on in the meeting yesterday, there was a lot of great points in that. And D3 was saying it's about being selfless service, having selfless service mind. That's going to equal to great customer service, and you're going to get that equal payback, because nobody don't want to go spend money where they constantly complaining about whatever it is, or the attitude, the aura, the atmosphere is nasty. You going to give me what you want or treat me any type of way, and I'm putting money in your pocket? I dare you, because I'm putting money in your pocket. So I think you should be humble and be thankful that someone is putting money in your pocket. And I think as in the business world, a lot of people, they know that and they take it for granted. But then at a certain point, that's where people had to stand still and say, you know what? This person is out of pocket. I'm not going to put no money in their pocket, because I would not put no money in nobody's pocket. I try my best not to put money in people's pocket that, I'm not appreciated in everything. So I'm very picky about where I spend my money in anything, down to the smallest thing, even to a pair of tube socks, but that's
Shout
how
out
it
to my
is.
man Pittsburgh T, man. He said entertainment is funny. Building a business, quality matters more than quantity. Very few businesses work like that. One thing I will say is, and shout out to Pittsburgh T, shout out to my brother CDK. I think when it comes to black business, I think you're supposed to play premium prices for bull crap service. And I'll say it again. They want you to pay premium prices for bull crap service. One of the things that's so funny is you got so many people who swear up and down they Christian or they this or that or Muslim, whatever the case may be, but they're the nastiest mofos you ever met. They're not kind, they're not sweet, and all those things of whatever you are, you're gonna bear fruit of. And I'm telling you, we got an issue where we seeing so many of these young men. I was watching what's his name, Jeremy Lamb. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jeremy Lamb. Jeremy
Yeah.
Lamb was on a podcast, and the man had every one of his fingers was a different color. He had on like some lip gloss, and like his hair was dyed blonde on the top. And it's just seeing a big, strong basketball player look like that. It just blew my mind, because it's sad to say this, but in our community, you will see people respect something a homosexual man has to say before they respect what a heterosexual man has to say. And I think it's backwards. Or you got my new favorite thing where people sleep white and talk black. And I think to myself, I used to wonder why my grandmother said that, but you cannot sleep white and talk black. What that basically means is you can't come with me like Bill has done. You got a white wife and you want to always talk about how the man is doing this, how the man is doing that. I'll be honest, the woman you pick for your wife is a representation of what you really love. And you're going to see, I don't care who you are, any man that's married, you're going to see his mother and his wife. You say I'm making that up. No, BVO is not making it up. Every man that's married has things about their wife that their mother had. And for someone to get someone who's not from the culture and scream they are from the culture, I think that's what you call a bad faith actor. I'm not just singling out Bill. We got a lot of bad faith actors. You got guys who get up there and talk all this stuff, but then when it's time to really do something or make some things happen, they have no integrity. They stand on nothing. It's a joke. It's a joke to me, but I don't know. I ask you guys this. Do you guys think us not having any real leadership within men, especially men of color, is that's what's hurting us more? What do you guys think?
What's hurting us more? Yes, BBL. If I go first, real quick, D3, I'll make it brief. Yes, that's one thing, BBO, but also, today's leaders has been replaced with gatekeepers, my guy. With gatekeepers. You look at these so-called leaders of today, they are gatekeepers and opportunists, and they have so-called black skin, but they wear white masks. I'm going to say that again. Black skin, wearing a white mask. Let that marinate. That's all I'm going to cook on right now until we swing back around. Go ahead, D3.
Yeah, I think it's a two-headed sword, because there are good leaders out there and there are bad leaders out there. And the reason I say that is because there are good leaders, they just not being followed. It's the bad leaders that's being followed. So there's men out there that's doing things the right way that deserve to be leaders, but it's so the generation of today is looking elsewhere for leadership. They looking at the street life. They looking at this entertainer over here or that entertainer over there, instead of looking in the right direction, because they don't have that structure in their household. So they don't know which direction they're supposed to look at. They going to what's the most convenient assets to them. And the most convenient is the street life. So that's the reason why I say that there's a two-headed sword, because there are good leaders out there, but they're not being looked at as leaders. They're being looked at as just a regular individual. The ones that should be a regular individual is being looked at as leaders. And so a lot of people are following their footsteps. Like a lot of these entertainers, some of them realize it, but some of them don't realize that a lot of people take after what they see on TV and what they see those entertainers do on TV. Some of them realize it. And the ones that do realize it, they try to hold up a good standard. The ones that don't realize that, they might say they understand it, the kids look up to them, but they really don't. Either they don't understand it or they don't care. One of the two, because if you cared and you realized it, you would try to show the kids another way to go, because you can't say stay in school, do this, do that, and then you doing the exact opposite. That's not showing that you care about what's going on in today's society. Because like I said, that's like me telling my grandkids, stop running around the house. And then every time they see me, I'm running back and forth from the bedroom to the front door. They're gonna like, well, if you running, why I can't run? So it's just they looking in the wrong places for leadership. So there's good leaders out there. It's just not being sought out.
Um, I think what you're saying has some merit to it. Shout out my band in Pittsburgh. He said we won't have any leaders in the black community until we select them, and they are no longer given to us by media, the machine, rappers, actors. Never been a leader. I'll say something that really hit me. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rodney. There's a young guy named Rodney. This young man lost his son. An officer, unfortunately, took his son's life, and this young man took justice in his own hands, which I would never suggest to do. And ran this officer over and took this officer's life. What do you guys think about a young man protecting his family in this way and being vilified for it? What do you think about it, Free? In law enforcement.
Um, it's never the right thing to do. Because when you do that, you're not giving justice. Yeah, it might feel satisfying to you for a short period of time, but in the long run, you're going to regret doing it. So it's not really bringing you justice. It's only hurting even more because yeah, you might have got revenge for what happened to your son, but now you just eliminated yourself from the equation of being able to provide for whoever else you have that's looking for you to provide for them. So now not only is that son gone, but also that father is gone now. So it's never right for you to take it in your own hand because I mean I understand a lot of people feel like the justice system don't work all the time, but you have to give it a shot before you can say it doesn't work. Now, if it doesn't work when you give it a shot, I understand you being mad at it. But if you never give it a shot, you can't say that it don't work if you never gave it a shot. So, I mean, like I said, I understand the emotions and the anger that he felt, but at the same time, you gotta think before you react. That's why I always tell people never react off the emotions. I tell my officers that all the time. Never react off the emotions. Keep a civil head because when you act off the emotions, 9 times out of 10 is going to turn out bad. And so when you do that, now there's consequences that you got to face. And like I said, now not only is that son is gone, but now that father is also gone out of the household. So you gotta think of all the things that can happen behind your actions. I think BBO is having some technical difficulties.
Oh, my
He
bad,
said,
my bad. Can y'all hear me? Sorry, I was on mute. I said Mike Rem said I can see what he did, but now he really can't help his family. So I think what you said has some merit to it, Free. But my thing is this: shout out to Rodney Tillman Jr. Um, I don't know. You know what? I put it like this: as a black person in America, I don't even know what to do. So his son was violated. His son's not a criminal. His son's not a gangster. His son's not a thug. And to be, unalive like he was, um, it broke my heart when I read that story, Free. It broke my heart, man, because our children they're on the hunt, man. I remember I used to watch this movie called Don't Be a Menace. And shout out to Charles Dutton. He had a saying in there. He said, they're on the hunt, and you are the number one target. People don't know this. Shout out to Chuck D. Chuck D, when he had the public enemy sign, that's a B-boy in the scope of a sniper rifle. I just don't understand what's going on. Like, what can you do as a father when someone takes your son from you? What would you say to that, B3 or Crush? I know the freak that spoke. What would you guys say?
oh, I think they on mute.
Okay,
I mean,
but
they're gonna be three. Go ahead, B3.
What's good, man? What's good, BVO, man? Salute the Free Crush, everybody in the chat. Uh yeah, I mean I came in on a serious topic. I don't know what transpired, BVO, but I mean, all you can do is kind of, you know what I'm saying, try to shine your light and kind of live your life the right way, be an example for others, you know, to live by, you know, be like Christ, in my opinion. So outside of that, pray for people, man. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on out here, but just lead by example.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I think go ahead, Free.
no, I was gonna say, and at that situation, because I got 5 sons, and so me losing any one of my sons, it will hurt regardless. I mean, like I said, I'm former law enforcement, and I still work in the security field. But the thing is, when you lose a child, I mean, it don't even have to be a son. It could be a daughter. It could be a wife. It could be anybody. When you lose them to a senseless death, it's hard. It's hard, especially when you know that person didn't do anything wrong. It's hard to try to keep your sanity, but at the same token, you got to understand there's other people's looking for your guidance. If you're the father, you're supposed to be the head of the household. There's other people looking at you that's going to follow your lead. If you go out here and you showing that anger and like, no, we're going to get revenge back, you can't be mad if your son get locked up by doing something the wrong way, because they looking at your leadership. We were talking about leaders. The leadership starts in the household. It starts there. If you can't be a leader in your household, you can't expect the next man on the street to lead your family. Why would you want the next man on the street to lead your family the way you want your family to go? That man don't know you. He don't know your situation going on at home. So you supposed to be the leader in your household if you have a family. So the family looks to the father how things supposed to go, whether they say it or they show it or whatever. It comes behind what they see the father do, because the father is supposed to be the head of the household. So they look at the father to be the leader. So if you out here doing stuff the wrong way, you can't fault your kids for doing the same thing. They coming right behind your footsteps. Like my sons, I literally got sons and daughters that's following behind me and their mother's footsteps. They in security because we've been doing security for so long. They was like, well, shit, they making good money off of security. We might as well go do it too. So they following behind you. They might not say they are, but they're following right behind your footsteps.
Yeah, I think the thing that I'm seeing, and this is not an attack on anybody, so don't take it any kind of way. I just say this: so many young men are so cowardice in their silence. Um, to not even speak on stuff like this. Well, we can easily talk about something else, but I just was so compelled to talk about this because I think across the board we seeing young men, as we call it, crash out. And I'm so tired of seeing brothers crash out. When are we gonna see brothers enjoy their life? As Dr. King said in his famous last speech, longevity has its place. So when are people gonna stop running around here like they playing Call of Duty or Halo or Grand Theft Auto? It's sickening because a young man can't get a break. A young man can't get a break. This young man was unalived by a cop for nothing. Do people realize George Floyd passed away over $20 over supposedly a clerk receiving a fake $20 bill? And you know what I would say? I bet you that clerk, there's a hot place in hell for that clerk that called the police on him today. I'm telling you, man, we got a real problem, and we just keep overlooking it with foolishness and laughs. We're laughing as our community is falling apart. We have some of the lowest literacy rates in the country amongst blacks and brown people. I'm telling you, there's something going on. I don't know what it is. Everybody know how to use TikTok. Everybody know how to use Instagram. Everybody know how to use Facebook, but they can't read a Harry Potter book. It's crazy. And BBO is not trying to get up here and preach. I'm telling you, people that we following are the wrong people to follow. I listened to Kevin Gates on something, and I said, this dude ain't nothing but a smart monkey or a smart dummy. excuse me for saying, I don't mean to say like that, but I just hate that stupid behavior where it's like you're not even thinking. You're not even thinking. And I'm just wondering, do you think these false prophets, like a Bill Haney, like a Kevin Gates, continue to lead our people wrong? What would you guys say?
Well, let me say this. Anybody would be a fool to follow them in the first place. Because what type of trait do they show any leadership? None. None whatsoever. When we talking about leadership, when we talking about leaders, those names that you mentioned don't fit the damn bill at all. They nowhere near Malcolm or Martin and so forth. None of that. That's the last time we had leaders. Like I said, all the ones out here are gatekeepers. The movie, sinners, selling your soul. They sold their soul. And the ones who sell their soul are the weakest. Everybody's looking for an easy way to come up and to feel a certain way, to be looked at a certain way because of money. I got this and I got that. Well, I'm going to keep on telling you. As much as y'all talk about the dollar bill, it ain't worth ish. Split it in half. No matter if it's a dollar bill, $5, you can't do a damn thing with it. It's worthless. See how easy that is? So something of any value, once you tear into it and the whole entire value is gone, that means it don't have any value in the first damn place. But see, this was taught and this was programmed and put into the damn minds of the people. When we talk about leadership, these people, these gatekeepers, they are opportunists. There's nothing but negativity, negative energy, and vibration that's surrounding us more than anything that's uplifting. And that's why it's winning. And then you when we talk about these young bucks, this whatever you call them, this generation, whatever you call them, millennials or whatever. When you look at it, look at everything, it's much more worse for them compared to the things that they try to force on our generation. It's worse now. This ain't got nothing. These ones ain't got nothing to do with the crack era. Some of them not even crack babies. Okay, these are the opiate babies, the heroin babies, the perk babies. You see how that works? So you are what you put in your body. So if the parents are out here putting this garbage and these chemical imbalances in their body, that's what they're going to produce when they're doing the act of reproducing. So they already come out messed up. They don't have a chance. I'm not talking about anything against the system. They don't have a chance because they already wired. So the home training that they're going to receive is not going to be healthy because what produced them is wired. It's not wired correctly. So everything that's out here, the negativity outweighs.
What you got for me, B3? B3. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, champ. You cut Crush the Legend off though. Man,
oh my bad. I didn't hear you, Crush. My bad.
Oh, you heard me, but you
sorry,
my
guy.
No, I'm messing with you. Go ahead, B3. I'm messing with you, man. It's all good. It's all good. Come back around.
Nah, you was cooking. You was cooking, Crush. I mean that's a hard act to follow, man. But nah, just kind of reason why I jumped on with the thumbnail. The thumbnail was crazy, and with Bill Haney, I think Bill Haney has done a good job with his son. Unfortunately, what we kind of got to see on Friday was kind of like that legal bank robbery type of boxing that Floyd Mayweather would speak about. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times a lot of people watch boxing for the thrill, the blood, the guts, the bravery, the action. So with Bill, he coached his son to get a win and to keep his 3-fight deal alive. And the people didn't like it, but I think that was pretty good leadership considering you dealing with a pressure fighter, a former unified champion, and Jose Ramirez with a Hall of Fame trainer. I think it behooves you to play it safe and not allow anybody like Oscar De La Hoya to, give you a loss and send you back packing. So I think they did the right thing.
Nah, I look at it a little differently. Why would you want to look at somebody else for leadership? I think that's the problem nowadays. Too many of us men are expecting somebody to be a leader instead of them stepping up to the plate and being their own leader. Why do somebody else have to lead you? Why you can't be your own leader? Why do we need to be followers? You should be able to make your own way. I never teach any of my kids to ever be a follower. If anything, you have people follow you. You don't follow anybody. You do what you feel is right. If they don't like it, so what? This is what you want to do. Are you doing it to make them happy, or are you doing it to make yourself happy? And I think that's the problem with a lot of men today. And it's not just black men, it's all men, period. I think they're looking to too many other people outside of their own household to lead them and their family instead of them stepping up to the plate and being a real man and lead themselves. Because if you can't lead your own family, like I said before, you can't lead your own family. Why would you expect somebody else to lead your family? I just if every man in this every man in this platform on this live that's listening in, if you lead your family the right way, and you claim you're one of those guys that lead your family the right way, all it takes is a couple of minutes a day to talk to the teenagers out there. Your kids got friends. Talk to those friends, and then eventually some more friends will come around. You talk to them. Eventually, some other friends will come around. You talk to them. Take them out, play basketball with them. Have a couple of basketball games. Have a cookout. Invite some of the friends over for a cookout and talk to the individuals. Eventually, that'll spread and they'll understand, oh damn, I got a real dude I can go over here and talk to. If every real man did that, things would be a lot different. But we're too busy looking for somebody else to do the leadership. We're too busy looking for somebody else to take our place instead of us just stepping up to the plate. If we can just step up to the plate, things will change. But nobody wants to step up to the plate. Everybody's looking for the next man. Man, why he ain't doing what he's supposed to do? Why you ain't doing what you're supposed to do? Why you not doing it? So I don't like putting the fall on somebody else. I'm gonna take blame for what I'm not doing, not what the next man not doing. He don't know my family. He don't know my situation. I'm not gonna blame him for what's going wrong in my household or what's going wrong in my community. He don't know nobody. He's just somebody out on the street. That's how I see it.
And I think you make a great point, but I also say a little bit of at that point is kind of destructive because in every society, to be where you want to be as a people, you got to work together. Uh, there can't be no big eyes, little U's. But I'll say this: people don't understand when you talk about Malcolm X. Malcolm Little was a very troubled young man from Omaha, Nebraska. His mother was sent to what they would call a insane asylum when he was about 12 or 13. His father was brutally unalived when he was 8 years old. And one thing he said that was very, very, for me, that just was mind blowing. Him and Red Fox, I don't know if people familiar with Red Fox. Red Fox used to be on a show called Sanford and Son. Red Fox and Malcolm were great, great friends. So in the late 40s, early 50s, they would have what they would call communes. I don't know if I'm saying that word right, communes. And you would have places where people would kind of start their own religions, like Daddy Divine or anybody. They would start their own religions. And what they would do, they would take advantage of those communes who would have like white women. and they would eat all they could eat and enjoy the white women. But Malcolm said something I'll never forget. He said, it took me to understand that I'm living like an animal to make me want to change. I don't think people are looking for someone to, to lead them like as much as that much. But I do believe there are people who are sent by God to help you get a better understanding on what God is doing. Because everybody couldn't go up to the mountain like Moses could, because they were all scared. Remember, God tried to come directly to the people. He came in as thunder and lightning. They said, "Oh, no. You talk to God, Moses. You talk to him. We don't want to talk to him." And I think that's the problem. I think there's nothing wrong with having someone who can be a leader, who can be a lifeline to you, to help you, to inspire you. Because Dr. King inspired a lot of people. Malcolm inspired a lot of people. Medgar Evers inspired a lot of people to do the things they did. Bill Cosby. If there was no Bill Cosby, you realize there would have never been a Barack Obama? If there was no Bill Cosby as America's dad for 8 years on the Cosby Show, there would have never been a Barack Obama presidency. And those little things, when I say having a leader is not bad, I just think that too many times as blacks, everybody wants to be the head dog. At the end of the day, that's why you see a church in every quarter, but we have the highest murder rates per capita in the country. I think there has to be some type of, we got to work together, some type of, what can we do to fix the issue? Our boys are painting their nails, they wearing purses, they dyeing their hair blonde, they talking like they got tongue rings, they switching, they just looking all out crazy. And what's the thing that they say? Oh, I do what I want to do. I'm my own man. No, you're a cupcake who's confused. And I'm telling you, we got a crisis in leadership because nobody wants to tell anybody when they're wrong. Wallow brought this up, I want to say a couple months ago. That's the problem with the black community as a whole. No one holds anybody accountable for what they're doing. And I'm telling you, that mindset that Free is talking about is a cancer. To only care about yourself and not worry about everybody. I don't have to worry about everybody, but guess what? By God, what God has put on my heart and everybody's heart who says they follow God is to take care of your brother, to be your brother's keeper. Not saying you got to be responsible for him, but you got to be there if you can be for your brother. And I think this, forget my brother, I'm moving on. That's the problem. That's the reason we're in the shape that we're in as a people. What you got for me, B3 or Free or Press? What y'all got?
No, I agree with you. That's what I said. You need everybody to work together. That's what I said. If every man can just take 5-10 minutes just to talk to your kids' friends and just talk to them. On the weekends when you got free time and you're not doing nothing, your family is going to the park, invite a couple of his friends with you to the park. If everybody do that, eventually the message will get out there. But at the same token, yeah, everybody needs inspiration. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be anybody to inspire people. Everybody needs inspiration. You can look to somebody for inspiration, but to look for somebody for leadership, that's something you should instill in yourself as a man and as a father. You should instill leadership in yourself, because part of being a father is being a leader. If you don't want to be a leader, you shouldn't want to be a father, because you have to lead those children. You shouldn't be expecting somebody else to lead your children. That's part of being a leader. So I have no problem with somebody inspiring you or inspiring a group of people to do the right thing. I have no problem with that. But to just solely look out for a leader and try to pick a leader out or whatever have you, nah, you should take it in yourself to be a leader and do the right thing. So I have no problem. Like I said, I agree with working together, but I mean, most people don't want to work together. And it's going to take yourself to say, okay, well, these people don't want to do it. Let me try to do something to try to get these kids in my neighborhood on the right path. Because you ain't gonna be able to reach every neighborhood, because you can't be everywhere at one time. But you can at least try to get the people in your neighborhood to get on the right path. At least when they see you and they see your family, they respect them. Like, oh no, leave them alone. They do this, they do that. They don't bother nobody. Leave them alone. At least you will have that respect to where they understand. No, those some good peoples right there. Leave them alone.
Right. I think the thing that's so crazy, and this is just me speaking from my own opinion, is the cowardice we see where guys won't even bring up when something's wrong, when something's unjust, or when something shouldn't even happen. I guess it disturbs me because I feel like we got a lot of step and fetching brothers out here now who don't understand the importance of like leading your own household. No one's perfect. No one's perfect. Lady Shabazz wrote a whole book about how awful Malcolm was as a husband. Not because he cheated on her, not because he talked to her bad, but because he kind of abandoned her. He kind of never really wanted that relationship, but it fit him for what he was trying to do. He had his children with her, but he really was focused on, the movement at hand. And take a look at this. Malcolm X's grandson. I can't remember which one of the girls had a son, but the grandson decided to burn Betty Shabazz alive. Why did that happen? Why would something like that happen? Because we're not having young men have control over themselves, and we're not telling them the importance of you can't react to how you feel. If you feel slighted, that's just a part of being a man. It's been every man in the world that came home, had a good attitude, and they woman that said something awful to them. Maybe not on purpose, but they didn't say something so out of pocket. You say, you know what? Why would you say that to me right now? I guarantee every man on this panel has had that happen. But we've never had when said, hey, I'm going to grow across your face, girl, for you saying that. What I'm saying is this. We're suffering because we don't have anybody that wants to be real about the situation. We got these weak Negroes who want to tap dance, who want to get on YouTube and complain, talk bad about other people, talk about this, talk about that, but don't even put any meaningful content out. At the end of the day, man, what are you doing for the people that you actually say you care about? And I'm telling you, a lot of this pro-black stuff you hear, man, is all bull crap. It's all bull crap. Anytime you calling blacks monkeys, you telling blacks they this and that, you're part of the problem. But let me ask you this, B3. What do you think about we got so many step and fetch your house Negroes out here? What do you think about what we got going on out here?
Man, it's unfortunate, BVO, but like you're saying, a lot of problems in our society is learned behavior, and or lack of education. So that's why I always, preach, for people to be educated, educated on, your surroundings, what I'm saying, your local governments, voting, all your rights as a citizen, like, you know, everything, man. So, but that more than most, man, it's really all about reading. So that way you can comprehend, the laws of the land and what's available to you and what's not. So that way you can kind of work the system in your benefit, in your favor, because you had that knowledge. So that's all it really is about, is just making sure that you prioritize as an individual your well-being, and make sure that you can kind of move and shape your life irregardless of who's around you, to be able to help you, so you got to just seek that knowledge, seek thyself, and get that good wisdom up in you.
The reason I ask you these questions, B3, is because I feel like a brother like you you gatekeeping, and it's not on purpose. But I think a guy like you who has a lot of knowledge about what it takes to make it at the corporate level, what it takes to get past your surroundings, where you can become a different person. I think those type of things need to be shared, because if not, as the young folks say, you gatekeeping. Because at the end of the day,
Right.
if you can talk to people, as my grandfather used to call him, Mr. Gilmore, if you can talk to Mr. Gilmore, or as the young folks call it, code switch, then you should be able to give me some jewels on how I can be better on how I can approach things, how I can come back from disappointment, or how when I don't get the job that I feel like I deserve, I'm not going to quit and mess up the money. Or knowing, hey, this might be the time for me to walk away from the situation because it's not going to work for me. Those type of things we got to hear from B3, man, and we
I
hoping
got you. So,
we hope that B3 stops giving us all these step and fetch answers, man.
so BVO, he's a reader. But now he's right. So, what I would say for the young guys, like certain things in corporate America, you really just it's really just how you carry yourself and your mannerisms. A lot of times guys don't understand, or people don't understand that these people are watching everything you do, everything you say, um everything you wear, what you eat. They're watching you in these environments. So I mean, that's what you got to be cognizant of. So with that being said, you always have to do, truth be told, you're gonna have, I mean, they say you always gonna have to do more to get less, but I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta want more for yourself. So that's what you gotta deal with in corporate America. um people watching you. I mean, they're gonna be on you. I mean, that's just what it is.
Uh, you see what just happened, y'all? B3's mask almost fell off. He almost gave you some real game. I don't know if y'all caught it. B3 almost gave us some real game. But we know the type of cat he is, he's not going to give us the full game, man. But he almost dropped some game on us, man. Shout out to B3, man. I could say there is something sourdough about you, man, because you was about to drop some real game, but you let the sucker in you say, nah, I'm not going to give it all to him. I want it all, man. Give us some more of that game and stop gatekeeping, nigga.
Man,
When
listen,
you
man,
say
y'all
that,
gotta tap
what
in.
do
Y'all gotta
you
tap in, and not another boxing channel presented by B3 Picks, man. Y'all tap in the B3 Boxing Picks. You know what I'm saying? That's where
nigga,
you
we
gonna
don't
get
care
more
about your
B3, man.
finances. We trying to get some money.
I get
Trying to
BVO.
grow.
I got BV. I didn't told these young brothers. I said they need to look to knowledge of the mind. I done already told them about mannerisms. I mean, I don't know how many more gems you want me to give them. I mean, that's two right there that's
That's
mandatory.
what the people come for. Food, stop gatekeeping.
I mean, I can, what I'm saying? I can give you some more, you know what I'm saying?
But see,
He want all the work.
and I'm gonna tell you this: the reason you gotta push a brother like B3 is because he understands, like I do, like Free does. A lot of us on this panel understand is that you only can make true change within the system. You really can't make it from what's out because we got too many goofies outside the system. With they beads and they chants, who ain't nobody's listening to. But when I come to them, or one of my favorite stories I read. So the Million Man Marches happened. This is 1963. The Million Man Marches happened. A young minister at the time. People don't know this guy named Martin Luther King wants to do a march on Washington. So they say, okay, cool. Sammy Winch goes to Frank Sinatra, the biggest star in the world, and say, Frank, I want you to be there to show them some support. Frank said, well, you want me to be there with the blacks for? I'm cool with you, Sammy, but I don't care about the movement that they got going on. And Sammy said, if you love me, then you love my people. And guess who was at the Million Man March in 1963? If you don't believe me, pull up the pictures. Frank Sinatra was there because of who? Sammy Davis Jr. Louis Armstrong traveled around the world living like a king in the 30s. Why? Because he understood that just because someone tries to marginalize you and put you in a certain place doesn't mean I'm not going to put as many people on as I can. And that's what you got to do. You got to figure out how to get in the system and bring your people in. When I first got into the dealership back in 2014, there were no blacks. Only blacks there was the ones washing cars and giving shoe shines across the street at the barbershop. When I got there, it turned into Africa because I understood that we got, as brothers, we got to share and share alike. We got to give each other real game and we got to give each other real understanding. What happens is too many
Hey,
black men don't even know
no,
real.
BVO, that's real talk. I
But
don't mean to cut you off, but just speaking on that, I was just thinking in my head. Like, you really the type of dude that I wouldn't even want to have a hamburger around. Like, you that type of dude.
Hey, this clown, man. Get him a nose, man.
You know what I'm saying? BBO the type of dude, he get emotional, he in bully mode, you know what I'm saying? He gonna run over somebody grandma.
Nah, you sick. I mean, not the man of God. You sick, man. You sick. But you know, of course, you know, we're gonna have somebody say some goofy stuff like that. Shout out to B3, man. But this is the real problem that we dealing with. We're not having real friendships. You will have two men be friends and they never tell each other the truth. Not one won't tell him that he got to get a job and take care of his family. One won't tell him, hey, bro, you got to work out, eat right so you can live for your family. If you don't have people in your life that can tell you the truth, your life is worthless. Just got to be truthful in your circle. Go ahead.
I wanted to cook on what you just said right there.
Smash the like button, my man Clarence.
About two friends, having two friends and nobody telling each other the truth. I was just talking to one of my, probably my only closest friend that I have, my kid's godfather. Me and him known each other since 1999, and we became friends because we realized that we were the only two real individuals around the neighborhood that we was around. He was from Philly. I was living in New York at the time, but he would always come up and visit because he had family in New York. And we became close. And he said, out of all the people that I've known throughout my years, he said, you're the only one that's still around out of all the people from New York that I'm still cool with because of our relationship. Because I'm one of those ones that when it came to him, everybody was scared of him. They were scared to tell him what to do. I was not that individual. I'm not going to be scared to talk to anybody. If I see you doing something wrong, I'm gonna let you know. Hey, dog, you messing up. You need to do something right. And he always looked at me for those situations because we would be out, we'll get wasted or whatever. But I was always the one that I would stay sober. I wouldn't get messed up like that. And they felt comfortable around me to where they know they're gonna be in good hands with me. If they get messed up, I'm gonna make sure everybody get home. I'm gonna make sure everybody's straight. And I will always tell him, hey, dog, nah, you can't do that. And everybody else would be like, nah, leave him alone. That he going. I said, nah, y'all shut up. No, you can't do that. And he'll look at me, and I look at him in his eyes, and he'll be like, yeah, you're right, let's go. And to this day, like I said, I'm the only person when he's at that mode, I'm probably one of few people that can tell him, hey, and talk to him and get him on the right path, because everybody else is so scared of his he has that aura of being the dude that you don't want to mess with. Well, me being from where I was brought up at, I never looked at anybody like that. I didn't care how big you was, how small you was. I didn't care. If I felt like something was going on, hey, I'm just gonna step to it. So me and him, like I said, that you gotta have friends like that. And he would do the same thing with me. He would call me up, hey, Free, I hear this is going on, dog. You know that you shouldn't be doing that. And if you don't have a friend like that, you don't really have friends. If you don't have a friend that can literally tell you when you're messing up, you don't have a friend, because a friend is going to make sure that you're on the right path. Because I don't want to be around somebody that's always messing up, because if I'm hanging out with this person and this person always going to jail, they might not, we might be around a group of people that don't know us, but they know he goes to jail. They're going to probably think I've been to jail as well. Or he always cheat on his woman. They're going to think I probably cheat on my woman too. Nah, I don't want to be associated with an individual like that. So I'm going to let you know, hey, dog, you might not want to do that. You might not want to do that. And he going to tell me, hey, you might not want to do that. But you need to have a friend like that, because if you don't, then like I said, you really don't have friends. You just have people that's just around you because of what you can give them.
I'll say this. We got to bring my brother in, my man CDK. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey, CDK, man, we you missed it. B3 was actually dropping some Jews. Now you know how these light skinned dudes can be. They'll hold them all for themselves. But shout out to B3. He gave us some Jews, man. We need you to give us a few too, man.
I just been listening. I've been listening to everything y'all was talking about. I was just listening to what Free was saying, and he correct 100% about what he said. I ain't got no friends no more. Not on the outside world. All my friends either dead or they in jail. The last of my people, the ones I hung with, came up with, like really, I'm on my own out here now. And it's sad to say that I still talk to them and look out for them and keep in contact with them. But man, I'm glad for some reason God allowed me to still be here. I got a lot of friends, man. They gone right now. They doing time on a RICO for being gangster disciples. And I ain't gonna lie, I spent so much time in and out of prison that I was able to miss, what I'm saying, being a part of that RICO because they really wanted to tie me into it. But I just happened to be locked up so much that they wasn't able to, put me in on that. So that's one reason, man. It made me just look at life different and change my life and slow down. I started realizing, man, that there's more important things than being locked up and doing time. So it just made me focus on doing something different and achieving my goals a different type of way. And I realized, man, if you hustle in the streets, man, if you got that same type of drive in the business world, man, you can get anything you want. And that's what I'm focused on. You know what I'm saying? Just I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't really got too much to say, but I just changed my whole focus.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. That's definitely a fact of what you're saying. I think go ahead, Free. Go ahead, Free. I see you want to say something. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. I mean, but now that you open the door for me to say something, yeah, I mean, when you put focus to whatever you want to do, you're gonna do it. Like the same individuals that we see that stands on the street corner, they started off nickel and diamond, but they stayed focused to what they was doing. Eventually, they end up moving up and became kingpins. If they took that focus and focused that into the business world, they could be business owners, CEOs, vice presidents, things like that. It's just people choose to focus their things on what they believe is going to bring them the most value. And some people look at the street corner and that can bring them the most value. They don't realize that you can get a lot of value by being a businessman as well. Or if they do think you can get it, they might think it's too hard to do it that way. But it's the same amount of pressure that you have been on the street corner that you have been in the business world. Business world, you just got to worry about dealing with your managers and your bosses and things like that. On the street corner, you got to worry about the stick up guys, the drug addicts, and you got to worry about the police officers. So you still have same type of hindrance in the street that you have in the business. It's just in the business, it's on the legal side. The street is the street side. So it's just people got to refocus their energy to what is positive. So many people focus on negativity and it brings back negativity. If they focus on the positive, you're going to get positive in return. And I think a lot of people is missing that message. They just see the quick cash and they see, oh, I know I can make $100 real quick by doing this, instead of realizing, okay, if I make this $100 by doing this and I sell it to the wrong person, that $100 could turn into a couple of months in jail, maybe even longer. So I just think people don't think about their actions before they do it. They just react off of emotion. I need to get some money real quick. What's the best way I can get it? And then now they hear a couple of things here and there, and they go what they think is the fastest way for them to get money. So I just think people just need to refocus their energy to something that's more positive.
This is my brother, Dr. Mark. I'll say this though. I remember my cousin, I'm not gonna say his name, he passed away. He used to be in jail and he had a phone and I would talk to him every Sunday. And it would get me that every Sunday I would see him. He would have three, 4, 5 pops, and he gonna have him a big sandwich. And he would be sitting in jail, and his TV was like plastic. It was weird. It was like a plastic see-through TV. I don't know if you guys ever seen a see-through TV,
Yeah,
but
I had one.
he be in there eating like a king, chilling like it's nothing. And I'll tell you this, man. I don't think it's by accident that we seeing so many videos released from the penitentiary, so many videos of people from the penitentiary on TikTok. My cousin said in jail they would have they had a Wii, and they would get a new game every month for the Wii.
Yep.
So just imagine how many games you didn't got over 6 month, 7 month. That's 7, 8 new games you didn't got, and people be in jail having the time of their life. I'll never forget when I went to go see one of my guys, man. This fool did not have on prison clothes. He had on polo like we wear. He had the polo shirt on. He had on some polo pants, and he had on some Jordans. I don't know how he got Jordan. They wasn't the night. They wasn't like no Jordans that you would buy. They was like some Mexican Jordans, like where they was like 13s, and you know how Mexican Jordans be the ones they mix together. Anyway, he had all that on. I was thinking to myself, you in jail having fun? I just don't understand what we can do when our young children are seeing jail's no big deal, death's no big deal. People don't realize King Von is dead. This dude
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about money and unalive blacks like it was no tomorrow, and that brother's dead.
yeah.
Juice
And
WRLD is dead.
we were talking about
He
that on
popping pills, drinking all that crazy stuff. What I'm telling you is that stuff that my man Rock said on "Don't Be a Menace" is true. There is a mission to destroy young men. Young heterosexual men are under attack. Be careful. Go ahead, Free.
no, I was gonna say we was talking about that on the right side
Hey, B, salute.
a couple of weeks ago, and he was bringing up the jails that they had. I believe it was in Mexico. It was some country. I can't remember the exact country. I think it was Mexico. There was some new jails that they had built up, and they was like, man, they look at what they have to live through. I said, that's what they supposed to. It's called jail. It's not called freedom. That's what they're supposed to. If you go somewhere, if they lock you up and put you somewhere that you never want to be at, you ain't trying to go back there. El Salvador, that's where it was. El Salvador. If you get locked up and they put you somewhere that you say, I am not going back there, I guarantee you will live your life the right way. And so many people go to jail, and it's so much freedom in jail. You can get an education, you can get degrees and all types of stuff in jail that they're like, man, I got a roof over my head. I get 3 meals a day. I can get whatever food I want from the commissary. When you in jail, it's supposed to be a punishment, not supposed to be a luxury. It's supposed to be a punishment. But the jails in America, it's not a punishment. I mean, they live like a low income person. That's how they live. Like they on low income. It's not like they in jail. They just live like they on low income. But if you put somewhere where you don't want to be at, you'll think twice about doing the wrong thing because you know I'm gonna get sent back there. And I done seen 4 or 5 people get killed in the first night that I was there. Or I seen a dude was ready to take his own life because he didn't want to be there. You're like, nah, I'm not going back there. But if you had that fear of going to jail, you wouldn't do half the things that you do. Or the people on the street wouldn't do half the things that they do if they feared jail. But they don't fear jail because it's not a punishment nowadays. Nowadays, jail is like, okay, you going on a vacation on a low income budget. That's what jail is like. You going on vacation on a low income budget.
I'm gonna say
What
I'm
you
gonna
got?
say this. When it comes to the jails, I'm gonna say this from my experience. Now, everything that y'all done spoke on, I've seen it. I've seen people get their lives taken in prison. I've seen people commit suicide in prison. I've seen all of those things. And a lot of times, I'm telling you, man, when you wrapped up in this street mess and you know what I'm saying, you living on the devil's playground, it seems like you'll catch on, but you still don't catch on. It got to be something that click in your mind. It got to be something like, man, I had a partner in there. He had 4 life sentences. He had been in prison since he was 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? From juvenile prison straight to the penitentiary. 15 years old. Had never been with a woman or nothing. Can you imagine that? And the man used to sit on my bed all the time and look at me and tell me, bro, I ain't never going home. So even though people see all this stuff they seeing, the perception that you see on there, these people on these cell phones, a lot of the stuff, it might be a little different now. I've been out for a good while now, but it ain't what people think it is in there. There's a whole lot going on in there, and every day, man, your life is on the line, and you gotta be prepared for whatever. But for some reason, it's hard for people to understand, man, or rationalize what you're facing. Like your mama might die while you're in there, your grandma might die. Anything can happen while you're in prison, and you can't get that time back with those people that you lost. Now they don't even let you come home to go to the funerals of your loved ones. So if your mama died while you're in there, guess what? All you gonna do is go see the chaplain. That's that on that. You're not gonna never be able to see your mom again. There's a lot of things that people need to think about before they make their decision to start doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Some of, like I said, it's not all glamour, but a lot of times it's not as stiff as it should be. It's not as stiff as it should be because, like I said, when you get locked up, it's supposed to be a punishment. You're supposed to feel like they taking everything away from you. But we so busy on trying to make sure that they have rights while they in jail, make sure that they're being treated fairly while they in jail. Yeah, they can be treated fairly, but they don't need all of the luxury of having the stuff that we have on the outside. Why do they need to see TV? They don't need to see TV. They being punished. When you used to punish your kids back when your kids were small, you punished them. You take their TV away from them. You take the TV away from them, their cell phones, and anything else that they might find luxury in. That's the same thing needs to happen in jail.
They don't supposed to have no cell phone. All them cell phones.
No, I know that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the TVs and things like that. When they can have TVs, they can have radios and stuff like that. I'm saying they shouldn't be allowed to have none of that. It's jail. You're supposed to be punished. You're not supposed to have no luxury.
I'm gonna tell you why free, and I ain't gonna lie to you why they give it to them. Because if you don't give it to them, you're gonna have probably about 30 to 40 deaths on your hand per month. Listen, when people, I'm keeping it real with you. If you want the real truth, if people don't have nothing to do outside of just looking at each other, I hate to say it, you're dealing with a whole bunch of animals, man. You're dealing with people, listen, they come from all walks of life. A lot of people don't even care about another man's life. If they ain't got nothing to do, guess what they gonna do? You. That's just facts, man.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's why they got 23-hour lockdown. But yeah, like I said,
every 23 hours a day, that's a whole lot. And I'm telling you, you're not gonna be able to do it. It's gonna be ridiculous. I know what you're saying.
No, but that's the point of it. It's the point of it. Because if you go somewhere where it's some real punishment and you might not make it out of there, you'll think twice about going there. You'll think twice. It's supposed to make you not want to go there. That's the reason for it. It's supposed to not make you want to go there. Some people don't care about going to jail because it's not really a punishment to them. It really doesn't feel like punishment to them. That's why they don't care about it. Like, man, I don't care about going to jail. But if you cared about it and you knew that if I go there, I'm going to be punished and I might not make it out of there, you're not thinking about going to jail. You're like, hold up, I might go to jail. No, I'm not trying to go there. I'm not trying to go to jail.
Let me ask you this.
That's what I'm talking about. It's the mindset. You got to change the mindset.
Let me ask you this. A guy that get his manhood taken in prison, I'm going to say it like that. I knew this happened to this guy. And guess what he did? He came back to prison. So I'm telling you, it's deeper than prison. There's a lot of stuff that got to be caught out here as well. It ain't just about prison, man. You think, I'm telling you, some crazy stuff happened to people in prison and they still come back to prison. I'm talking about crazy stuff. Stuff that you know what I'm saying, that will scar you for life. I've seen it happen. and I've seen people come right back through the door. So, you know, it's hard to say what's gonna make a person change. The change got to be within, man. You got to be willing to, man, just say, I'm tired. I want to do something different with my life. You know what I'm saying? Prison is not
Yeah,
gonna real.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm not talking about one person here, one person there. I'm talking about the vast majority. No. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about changing a person here, a person there. I'm talking about changing a vast majority. If you have majority of the people thinking twice about going to jail, then the prison wouldn't be overpacked because there's less people trying to go to jail or less people doing things that will put them in jail. But when you have people that don't really care about it, they're like, man, I go to jail, I do my time, and then I come back out on the streets. I do my time and I'm coming back on the streets. But if you go to a place where it's not a good chance that you're going to make it back to the streets, you'll think twice about going to jail. That's what I'm saying. It's not because I know there's situation where it's going to be good and it's going to be bad. But what I'm looking at, I'm trying to change the vast majority. I'm not focused on a small percentage of people still going to do this, people still going to do that. You always going to have that. What I'm talking about is the vast majority of most people are not built the way a small majority of people is built. They might act like that, but they're not really built like that. If you have individuals that know that there's a possibility that you might not ever make it back home, they will change their ways. And that's the vast majority of people. If they know that they might not ever make it back home, they might not ever see their loved ones again, they'll change their ways. Yeah, it's always going to be a small percentage that don't care about it because they're heartless individuals. There's always going to be that small percentage. But I'm trying to change the vast majority.
I'm going to say this and leave it at this. In order to stop people from coming to prison, we need to figure out what's going on out here on the outside world first. Because most of the things that's going on, a lot of these young people don't care nothing about going to prison for the rest of their life. I can show you, man, 100 people, man, they got 100 years. And I'm just being real with you. We got to figure out here what we can do different. The older generation, the OGs or whatever, what can we, I heard Crush say something earlier, like, what can we do different, man? We just gatekeepers now, as he said earlier. It's starting out here. It's where it started right here. Because most of them are not thinking about prison when they out here pulling guns and taking lives and stuff. They're not thinking about none of that. This is where it started right here before they even step through them doors. What can we do different?
No, go ahead, BBO. BBO, you fell asleep behind the wheel?
Again.
He said again. I think something going on with his mic.
Nah, it might be his microphone. Yeah, it might be his microphone. But I know what you're saying, Free. But like I said, it's just so many, man, these young people out here messed up, man. It's a different day and age. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm glad I retired from that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, and like I said, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's too many men looking at other men to be a leader instead of them stepping up and be a leader of their own household. Now I understand that some men are not in the household, but then that just means that woman got to be the leader, and she gotta step up and be a leader, because there are some strong women that lead their sons in the right direction. And I know
wait, Free.
I know that
Never.
I know there's some strong women that can't get through to their kids. Some kids are just gonna be messed up. It is what it is. But if you take initiative, yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay, my bad. Go ahead, Free.
No, if you take the initiative and dedicate the time to your family and your kids and be that leader, a lot of the things that we see going on wouldn't go on as bad as it is. It would still be some bad situations, but it wouldn't be as bad. A lot of things change once the 2000 hit. That's when a lot of things started changing. They started changing all of the laws. They started changing what you can do with your child, what you can't do with your child. when they came out with the whole, and like when I was in New York, and my kid's mother laughed at me because I never knew anything about CPS. And they was like, yeah, CPS is coming to the house. I'm like, what the hell is CPS? We just talk to the people from social service. She was like, nah, this ain't no social services. This is CPS. I'm like, what is that? She was like, Child Protective Services. I'm like, well, they was like, when that started? Like, that's always been around. I said, I've never heard of that before in my life. I never knew nothing about CPS. I never knew when I was a child, I never heard about CPS. I ain't know nothing about no Child Protective Services. My mother just said, or the police, make sure you go home with them.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll say this, man. I think whether it's from the jailhouse or the corporate world, that's what we got to do to come together to understand what's going on. Like when y'all see me hanging on B3 about stuff, it's because B3 know a lot about the corporate world, and there might be a young brother who's at home or a young sister who want to know how can I operate in there. And it's always good to have somebody with the experience. I got some of the experience, but I got a different thought than maybe B3 do. CDK can tell you what it's like to have one of the greatest comeback stories of all time. They come back when they tried to bury him, and he made a great life. Because one thing people don't understand is when you go to jail, that's forever punishment. If you get a felony in America as a black man, you're going to know forever, you're forever under their thumb. They can search your cars when they want to. They can talk to you any kind of way when they want to. They can do so many different things, man. It's crazy. It's crazy what they can do. And I'm telling you, we got to be vigilant and we got to watch out for these bad faith actors. Just because they're your color, just because they're your skin folk, don't mean they're your kin folk. Some country brother told me that, and I think we got to take that serious. Just because a mofo look like you, don't mean they got your best intentions at hand. They don't. They don't. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of Uncle Toms running around here looking to destroy young, impressionable brothers and sisters who don't know the difference between right and wrong. And I'm gonna let everybody get their final words. Everybody give me your final words on this one.
Oh, nobody want to go. I just say, man, great conversation. Enjoy the time. I was listening. Maybe come on stage, man. Doing what y'all doing. Keep hope alive. Maybe things will change.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it like this. My man Pittsburgh T said single mothers he said single mothers epidemic is destroying the black family. We need to fight for the nuclear family. I'm gonna tell you a truth. Black men are not giving up. A lot of black women are putting men to a place where they just say it is what it is. A lot of men love their family. A lot of men want to be there for their family. And sometimes, and I'm not saying it to be right or saying it to be wrong, some men say, yo, it's not worth all this. You can have it. I give up. I've seen it. I've seen it. You even got Charleston White saying, F that baby. Go make another one.
Yeah.
They're not saying that because they don't agree with it. They're saying it because that's how people are starting to feel. But I know it's your boy BBO. Give us your final words, Free.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, we got to remember, leadership starts at home. If you want to change anything, the change starts in your own house. You can't change nothing on the streets if you can't change it in your own house. So just I mean, whether you're a single mother, single father, or you got both parents in the house, the leadership starts in the house. That's all.
What you got for me, B3? I think B3 smoking K2 again.
Nah, man. Nah, for a second there, we thought you was asleep, fell asleep at the wheel, and then I was like, BVO, he the type of dude that dream about cookout trays and ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
but
you
nah.
know, Well, you know, a goofy looking dude like you with bug eyes would say something like that. But you know what I'm gonna say? You my brother and I love you. And even though you got a club foot, I'm never judging you because I'm here for you, brother. And I love you. I just want you to know I got nothing but love for you, baby. Club foot or not, I won't let the club foot separate us. We still brothers. What you got for me, Crush?
Already.
I think Crush fell down the steps. We got CDK.
Let me sign off, BVO. Shout out to my brother BVO, my brother D Free, my brother CDK, my brother Crush the Legend. Shout out to everybody in the chat. The chat was popping tonight. Salute to everybody that came through. The Sports Talk Network is popping. Let's do it. We did another one.
Hey, shout out to my man Prize. Prize just took a shahada. Shout out to Prize, man. We love you, brother. We'll see you soon.
Yeah,
Congratulations to Prize on taking the shahada, man.
Oh, congratulations, Prize. That's fire.
On that note, I'm not sure what time you coming on, Dub. I'll see you in the chat.
Coming on around 11:30.
So don't miss Varnell Hill. He do it for the ladies, man. The Varnell Hill Show. Check out my man Dub right side tonight at 11, man. And we gone, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon everyday earbuds.